With Prairie Awakening, Prairie Awoke on pause for 2020, Dallas County Conservation Board has invited our good friend and volunteer, Roger Routh, to assemble a montage of the past 23 years of video that he has shot here.
We hope this video helps you to remember, to celebrate, and to heal.
Part of the transition from Prairie Awakening to Prairie Awoke has to deal with the healing of a mound that was desecrated at Keene. Part of that story also goes along with our friend Robbie Knuth, who had a whirlwind speak to him and had a dream. And so Prairie Awakening has gone to Prairie Awoke. We hope you take some time to step inside this story.
Robbie's vision was what started this, and it ties to the mounds of Keene. And as Mike said, one of those mounds had been desecrated. Robbie and I are old friends. We knew each other a long ways back down the trail. And with his vision came a conversation and a friendship with a woman named Running Moccasins, or Maria Pearson. Many of you would know her by that name, or Anglo name. And after Robbie's vision, we approached Maria and asked her if she would help us at Keene Conservation. Our job is to bring the voice of this landscape back to this place. We weren't really sure we were getting that done. And we were doing the best science that could be done for ecosystem restoration to bring tallgrass prairie back. We had local ecotype seed, we had the right burn regimens, we were doing the right site preparations. And so we asked ourselves, are we actually bringing this voice back? Are we bringing wildness back to the landscape here in Dallas County? And it was a resounding no. We were failing. And we asked ourselves, well, what was wrong? Our prairies looked fine. The birds that Mike, if you know Mike, you know that he's probably got feathers behind his ears. The birds were coming back. Flowers were blooming again. Those voices being heard, but we knew there was something missing, and it was through Robbie and Maria and another fellow by the name of Larry Gollett and long conversations. We said, you know what's missing in this? And what's missing is something that I'd known as an educator. When you ask somebody to describe their wildest place, and if you were to go there and be there and look around you and explain what it is that brings you to that place. I have been doing this for 40 years, and I've never had a person put another person in their wild place. And as long as we have that separation of people not being part of the landscape, we knew this was not going to be successful. So our answer to how do we wake up a prairie is we needed to bring people back to the prairie. And the vehicle that we thought would be best to do that would be, let's bring the first voices, the first songs, the first dances, the first stories of the prairie back and use them as an invitation to the current culture to see if they wouldn't come back and remember. And it was at about that time there was a fellow by the name of Orville Little Owl who took me aside and he said, Chris, a couple of things you should understand as a teacher. One of them is you're not teaching anybody anything. And I thought, yeah, Orville, I feel like that a lot of the time. I know what you're saying. He said, no, what I mean is you're not teaching anybody anything. You're only helping them to remember things they've forgotten. And so as we brought these drums and stories and songs, music, dance back to Prairie, I've had all of these years now with Rob, and those of you who have shared those days in September out at the arena in Keene. It's interesting to watch that remembering come across people. It's nothing we're teaching. It's something that has always been there. They just didn't remember it. And then to walk away from the first year of that first celebration and come back the next day and have kids there and walk out into that prairie, into those woods, into that river valley and think, wow, this is not the same place. This place has been changed. And so for many years it was Prairie Awakening, and we attempted to, with that celebration, awaken that prairie. But one of the things that was always underlying it was the vision of Rob's and those mounds that needed healing. So over the last number of years, there have been songs and dance and ceremony that were done, and we moved towards not only awakening a prairie, but healing those mounds. And that has finally come full circle with a day that I'm not going to forget for a long time. There were three of us that went to the mounds, Rob and Mike and I, And Robbie knew what he needed to do to bring this circle full circle. It was very interesting when we got done and we walked out into the newest Prairie at Keene. Rob says, you know, a lot of times when I'm doing things, there's three in it. And then Rob looks up, and how Mike doesn't see this, because I've never seen Mike miss a bird, but Rob said, look. And there were 3 eagles flying over that prairie that day. And he said, whoosh down. Yeah. And so the mound's been healed, and we've talked with Rob, and we're talking with elders, and we're praying, and we're trying to become aware of what the direction of Prairie Awakening should be. But as Mike told you, it's taken on a new persona in that it's Prairie Awoken. We need to take joy in the fact that we have succeeded at something here. And we have connected and reawakened those memories, and that people have come back. This is the invitation we want you to give people when they come here to remember. Tell them to come step inside these stories and experience the memory of the land.
Once again, Hidamayam, Omadakase, we'll see you. You guys have a great evening. Thank you, and we're all related.
What we need in this world is good communication. One heart, one mind, one spirit.